monsters, creatures, and toys, to infinity and beyond. The Pixar company is known for its wacky characters and stories that make audiences laugh while leaving a prominent message in their wake. These films are often heartwarming and joy-filled, which lends itself perfectly to the emotional sneak attack lurking around the corner of most, if not all, of the movies in the Pixar canon. I'm sure you've watched many of these animations. We cannot hold back our tears at the emotional scenes of animations. We've compiled a scene where you can't hold back 10 tears for you today. Let's get started then. The premise of this movie seems pretty goofy, with a house flying via balloons and an island full of talking dogs. Under the surface, Carl's story is much deeper than that. It absolutely goes without saying that the opening sequence of Up, commonly referred to as the married life sequence, is one of the biggest tearjerkers that the Pixar company has to offer. The scenes follow Carl and his childhood friend Ellie as they grow up, fall in love, get married, buy a house, and attempt to start a family. It's here that the emotions start to swell up, as they discover they are unable to conceive, and eventually Ellie passes away, leaving Carl elderly and alone. Absolutely brutal opening to a film, let alone one for children. Harvesting screams to power a town full of monsters isn't something that seems would be a tearjerker, but once a little girl bursts on the scene and protagonist Sully might have to protect her from the dangers of the big scary world, that all changes. While the majority of Monsters Incorporated is spent on silly jokes and antics, things take a turn when Sully stops being afraid of Boo and starts to bond with the little girl and his protection. As the story progresses, Sully and Mike do their best to find a way to send Boo home, but by the time they are able to do so it's too late. They've connected, in a deep, familial way, and the audience gets the unfortunate pleasure of watching these two change beings say goodbye to one another. In a family where music isn't allowed, Miguel finds himself in the land of the dead and unites with his past family to bring it back. In the process, he unearths dire family secrets, and manages to return home to make everything right with his ancestors, and show those who remain how powerful music can be. A children's movie about loss and generational trauma? What could be said about that? It's fun and theatrical and heart-wrenching all at once, as the audience watches Miguel discover his family secret and help Hector take down Ernesto so that he can return to his family. In one of the final scenes, Miguel sings "Remember Me" to Coco, who becomes responsive for the first time as she hears her father's song and begins to sing along. Even without the greater context of the film, the scene itself is enough to bring someone to tears, and within the context, it's even more powerful still. In the finale of the Incredible trilogy, the toys are faced with their biggest challenge yet as Andy is preparing to go to college and accidentally donates them to a daycare center. In their quest to find their way back to Andy, they meet Bonnie and resolve to make sure they're donated to her now that Andy has outgrown them. What can be said about Toy Story 3 that hasn't been said already? It was the catalyst for many millennial emotional breakdowns as we, too, had to accept we were outgrowing our favorite toys. Film ending with "So long, partner" has a finality to it that won't be forgotten anytime soon.
Thanks, guys.
Also, they put a scene in which the toys accepted their death via garbage incinerator and held hands as they plummeted toward the flames, which is just upsetting. A newer and well-reviewed but much less acclaimed release from Pixar, Onward may be a fun road trip movie with two brothers in a magical world trying to bring their father back to life for one day. Naturally, the spell they're using for it goes horribly wrong, and they only manage to bring back his legs, and in their quest to finish the job they learn to appreciate each other and the relationship they have. This movie has an emotional denouement like any other, with the main character Ian realizing that the father he's been yearning for has been with him his whole life in his brother Barley. As such, Ian sacrifices his chance to meet his father for the first time in the few moments they have in order to allow Barley to properly say goodbye. It is a bittersweet moment, seen from a distance and unheard by the audience, but the brothers' connection and love for one another are both evident and endearing. It is very difficult for a young child to be without a father. Whether it's a baby lion or a human, this is the case. After losing your father, you are also losing the person who fought this world for you. In a way, you are alone in front of the whole world. There's no one to pick you up when you fall or to support you when you struggle with those stronger than you. Such is the story of Simba. Due to a small mistake in the endless ambition of his uncle Scar, he has to say goodbye to his father Mufasa at a young age. Even though this scene is cartoony, it's heart-wrenching enough.
Dad? Dad, come on. You gotta get up. Dad, we gotta go home.
Undoubtedly, this innovative animation will be the answer to many people when you ask them which animated movie they cried for the first time. As much as it hurts us that Simba's father Mufasa died, it hurts us just as much when Bambi's mother was shot by the hunter. If there's anything worse than a fatherless little lion cub in a forest, it's that a little fawn is left without a mother. Of course, no one who watched the movie in 1942 thought that the main protagonist in an animation would witness the death of his mother.
We made it, Mother! Mother!
We know that Wall-E is a robot and it is impossible for him to fall in love. However, Stanton defines love in the film not with logic, but with a sense of touch. When Eve tries to hold her hand for the first time, Eve withdraws her hand, and Wall-E tries to catch up by dealing with something else. However, when Eve is closed, the first thing that comes to mind is to protect her from external influences and hold her hand at the same time. Love for Wall-E, holding hands to follow Eve, to whom she was smitten at first sight, to try to impress her, to share the things she loves, and to know that her love has been reciprocated, simple yet sincere. Although every frame of this unforgettable film, in which Pixar artists show their extraordinary talents once again, is emotional enough, hello, Dolly. The scene where he heard the music of the movie was different.
And that is all that love's about.
Our film deals with the story of Hiro, a young man who is curious about technology and especially robotic technologies. Even the beginning of this story is dramatic and sad. Hiro loses his inspiring and always supportive brother in the fire. A cute robot remains after him. And we all know, like Baymax, this robot is really a robot programmed on pure and goodwill. Like the beginning of the movie, it ends with an emotional scene at the end. Baymax and Hiro enter the portal to save a woman, and the scene where Baymax sacrifices at the end of a dangerous journey was undoubtedly the most emotional scene of the movie.
deactivate until you say you are satisfied with your care.
No, wait. What about you?
There is no time. Are you satisfied with your care?
Please. No.
Joy, sadness, anger, fear and disgust are actually life itself. Whatever we experienced, it was the result of these 5 basic emotions working together. I'm sure it's an animated movie that you watched with pleasure like me. Let's come to the most emotional scene of our movie. It was more emotional than real.
Sing louder! Bing bong! We did it! Bing bong? Bing bong!
You made it! Go save Riley!
And we have come to the end of our video. I hope you liked the video. If you want such videos to come, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. So, which animation is the most emotional for you? Don't forget to let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.